What if I told you that some of the greatest kings in history were brought to their knees? Not by war, not by enemies, but by something much more seductive, their own desire. We all imagine kings as powerful, unshakable, masters of others and themselves. But behind closed doors, history tells another story. Men who conquered kingdoms but couldn't conquer their own appetites. Men who ruled millions yet were enslaved by lust. Why? Because lust is not just a fleeting feeling, it's a fire insatiable, relentless, and blinding. And when you feed it, it consumes you from the inside out. Even kings with all their wisdom, wealth, and wives were no match for it. And you think you are? The truth is, lust has destroyed more legacies, families, and futures than war ever could. And history remembers, which explains why the next lesson is even darker. What makes lust so dangerous isn't just what it does to your body. It's what it does to your soul. It rewires your mind to believe the lie that nothing else matters. It makes you sacrifice dignity for moments. It blinds you to what you already have and tricks you into chasing illusions you can never hold. Even the strongest kings wept when they realized what they'd lost. They thought their position gave them immunity from consequence. It didn't. And neither does yours if you've ever felt that quiet shame afterward. If you've ever looked at yourself in the mirror and barely recognized the man staring back, you know what I'm talking about. Lust doesn't just take your strength, it takes your crown. Now the hidden truth about kings who fell. David, Solomon, Herod, names that echo through the ages, yet each was devoured by lust. King David, the man after God's own heart, sent a man to die just so he could have his wife, and the sword never left his house. His family was torn apart, his kingdom weakened. King Solomon, the wisest man alive, ended his reign worshipping foreign gods because of his obsession with women. His kingdom fractured, his wisdom wasted. Herod, so obsessed with the dance of a young woman, he ordered the beheading of a prophet, his name now synonymous with cruelty and foolishness. If even kings with all their discipline, all their advisors, all their power fell, what chance do you have if you ignore this warning? This brings us to a powerful ancient insight. In ancient philosophy and scripture alike, lust was never seen as just desire. It was a disease of the soul. The Greeks called it akrasia, the state of knowing what's right and still choosing wrong. The Hebrews called it a snare, invisible at first, but impossible to escape once you're caught. Because lust doesn't just want a piece of you, it wants all of you. It wants your future, your clarity, your strength, and it doesn't care if you're a peasant or a king. That is why ancient teachers warned, better a man who rules his spirit than one who conquers a city. But most ignored the warning and paid the price. Which brings us to a chilling real-world example. Think about the downfall of Tiger Woods or Bill Clinton or countless leaders, CEOs, and public figures whose private lust became their public humiliation. Millions of dollars, generational influence, respect, all gone. Over what? A moment, a fantasy, a desire they thought they could control. Their kingdoms, whether literal or symbolic, collapsed. And the world watched them fall with disgust and fascination. And if you think this is just about those men, you're wrong, because every time you give in to lust, you're writing the same story. The question is, how will yours end? Now comes the moment of internal conflict. Here's the part no one wants to admit. There are two versions of you, the king and the slave. Every time you bow to lust, you silence the king inside you. You trade your throne for chains, and over time, you forget what freedom feels like, but you can feel it, can't you? That quiet take inside, that whisper in your soul that says, you're meant for more than this. You were born to rule yourself, not be ruled by your impulses. But the question remains, will you rise? Or will you keep bowing to what's killing you? Which explains why the next truth hurts the most. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You don't beat lust by trying harder. You beat lust by starving it. Stop feeding it. Stop flirting with it. Stop making excuses for it. You must kill it at the root. Cut off the supply. Block the images. Walk away from the situations. Discipline your mind before the fire spreads. You don't negotiate with fire. You put it out. Every time you resist, you weaken its hold. Every time you feed your higher self, the king grows stronger. But there's a reason most people won't do this. Why don't more people rise above lust? Because it's easier to pretend it's harmless, because everyone struggles with it, because the world tells you it's natural, normal, even healthy to indulge it. But natural doesn't mean wise, and common doesn't mean harmless. Lust whispers, just this once, but it never stops there. It will always come back for more. And if you don't stand your ground, it will take everything you love and leave you empty. But if you do stand your ground, something incredible starts to happen, which brings us to your future self. Close your eyes, picture yourself 5 years from now, free, confident, clear eyed, walking into a room with quiet strength, looking in the mirror without shame, knowing you've mastered yourself. That man, that king is in you, waiting, and every small choice you make today shapes him. Lust doesn't deserve to rule you, you deserve to rule you. That's the path of kings, the path of men who leave legacies, not ruins. Now comes your moment of decision. One day your story will be told. When they speak your name, what will they say? That you were a man ruled by pleasure? Or a man who ruled himself? The kings who fell because they forgot. You can't serve two masters. Choose today who you will serve, your higher self or your lower self, because no one is coming to save your crown. It's yours to protect or to lose. So stand up, rise, and take back your throne before it's too late.